I'm Mayank Sharma, a computing undergraduate student at Imperial College London.
Hi, I'm Rini and I'm studying Joint Maths and Computing at Imperial.
Hi, I'm Arjun Banerjee and I study computing at Imperial.
I'm Adi. I'm a second year computing student at Imperial.
I'm in second year.
I'm in second year.
I'm in second year.
So for me, university wasn't very far from home. My family lives in London as well, so that's where I'm from.
I'm from Leicester.
I live in Amersham, which is just northwest of London, about an hour away.
I'm from Wiltshire, which is about an hour from London in the southwest of England.
I really enjoy playing squash, running, that sort of thing. I'm also really keen on cricket. I play cricket for Imperial. And apart from that, I guess, I enjoy reading books and listening to music and that sort of thing as well.
In my spare time, I love to go and find cool places.
In my spare time, I enjoy playing badminton, doing photography, and any side projects on things that interest me.
I like playing music, so I like playing the piano, singing, and also doing Indian classical music in my free time.
So our DRP project is called LIME, and there's actually meaning behind this. It's an acronym for Live Management of Events, because we want this to be the only app you'll need to manage a live event. So the purpose of our project was actually partially born from personal experience, where some of us have been at the receiving end of some miscommunication of some last minute changes at a large hackathon we were at. So when we got to work on DRP and found out that communicating last minute changes and distribution were problems that affected so many events and so many people, we wanted to help. Specifically, we wanted to help event hosts effectively manage their events by enabling them to communicate to attendees in real time and distribute resources to them more efficiently than before, while also enriching and personalizing the whole event experience for attendees.
We chose this project because we wanted to tackle a problem that we had all faced recently. From attending hackathons to going to conferences, we all felt that there was some form of miscommunication between hosts and attendees, so we wanted to address this.
As our app is all about live event management, it is really important that real-time and live interactions with users were in there, as it was core to the problem that Lime was trying to solve. So we had to implement things like live polls and notifications. Also, continuous integration and deployment was key to this kind of project, as we wanted to get rich feedback from users. So we wanted to be able to put the latest features that came from their feedback in their hands as soon as possible.
So we're hoping that Lime will really improve the experience for event hosts and attendees. So in the short term, this will be for online events, but we're hoping to eventually extend this to medium to large scale in-person events like open days, hackathons, and conferences.
So we spoke to a variety of people during DRP, many very experienced when it comes to event management, and all of their insights and feedback really drove the direction of our app and helped us, I think, to really solve the problems our future users have right now. So firstly, thank you to everyone we kept bugging during DRP. You really helped us so much. So we spoke to many people, but in particular 3 people in the end. So the first was Will Nortonbelt. He is a professor in Doc at Imperial and has extensive experience as an academic, attending conferences as well as hosting them himself. He was in fact due to co-chair a large blockchain conference this year, and we gained some invaluable insight into the quirks of academic conferences, including things like parallel streams of events and the needs of their attendees and hosts in detail through real-life experiences he has personally had, as well as things he's heard about. Jackie Bell is someone else we spoke to. She's a senior teaching fellow for public engagement at Imperial, and as such has unbelievable experience organising massive events like open days. Her feedback really helped us in a lot of ways, but I think a good example was making us truly understand the need to keep accessibility at the forefront of our app design. I think I'm really proud of how it turned out in the end. So I think points like this are why speaking to real users is just so critical in this project. Finally, Ritupana Saha is someone we also spoke to. She organises large events within Doc itself, such as departmental open days and interview days, and gave us some incredible backing and helped us again to pick up continuous tweaks to our design. All of these people gave incredible votes of confidence in our app, including their willingness to use it soon, and they really drove the experience and design to what it is now, in a manner that we hope will make Lime really work for them and for others in the near future.
Working with real organisers and stakeholders who could be potential future users for our app was really important in getting the user experience just right. So we chose to follow agile practices, and through this iterative development we wanted to get feedback on the various features that we were implementing. So talking to our end users was really important in doing so, and through this interaction with our app they could point out small details or niche features that we wouldn't have noticed otherwise. For example, Jackie pointed out that we could add accessibility to our events so that people who have those needs can be addressed in the app. And we also felt that their positive encouragement was really good for keeping us going, and our team morale was a really good experience overall.
So we've had some really positive feedback actually from our users, and their feedback and suggestions were really important because that's what we needed to make something that was actually useful and solved a real problem. We spent a lot of time in meetings with them, and we'd essentially give them the app and tell them to narrate their experience as they used it, which gave us a really good insight into the problems, but also the potential ideas and features we could add that could solve common problems in this area. And because they go to so many events and host some as well, they really knew what the problems were when running or going to events, and we made sure we addressed many of those in a really simple and clean way. A lot of the people we interacted with were very enthusiastic about the app by the end of it, and people in the Department of Computing have actually expressed an interest in using this app in the future, which is really great. So now we're going to show you Lime, the live event management app we've been working on. So as the attendee on the right, I can go into Lime and I can just tap the camera icon and point it at the QR code that will be around the venue. I can then hit submit and I'm taken straight into the app. So what I can see is the announcements and also a poll where they asked for my dinner preference. So I can just pick my dinner preference and submit that. I can also then head over to the timeline and I can see everything that's going on right now and everything in the future. I can tap on something that's going on, and also I can bookmark anything that I'm interested in. Once I've done that, I can just tap the bookmark icon on the top right, and I've got my own personalized agenda for this event. And finally, I can go to the resources and have a look at everything that the host has sent out to the attendees whenever I want to.
So as the host of the event on the left, I've got this page that gives me some key information about the event, like the event code, the QR code, and some stats on the attendance. So if I go to the feed, the view is largely the same as the attendee side, so I can see the announcements that I've sent out, and I can also see the results of any polls that I might have sent my attendees. I can add an announcement about the dinner options and watch it reach my attendees in real time. So if I send this to my attendees, as we can see on the right, this shows up in their notifications. So similarly, the timeline is much the same, and I can add to it using the plus button in the bottom here, and I can add to the resources throughout the event to keep my attendees informed. And if I want a view of the events, the other events that I might be hosting, I can check out of this event and have a nice overview on the My Events page.
I think it's great. I think it's nice that you've taken on everyone's feedback as well. So that's exactly what you want with someone who's trying to develop a platform or an app for you anyway. So
it's certainly much more usable and looking much better branded, and and the user experience is starting to come together, so that's good to see.
I'm really pleased with what you guys have done. I think this is amazing. I think obviously you put a hell of a lot of work into this and it shows,
So we're all continuing to develop Lime in a similar vein to during DRP this summer, and hopefully beyond. Obviously, given the social distancing measures in the UK at the moment, not many people are hosting large events like conferences and open days at the moment. But in the immediate term, we are already speaking to people running online events this summer, where we see huge potential for Lime to solve their event management problems in an elegant manner. We're also still reaching out to people who run traditional large events to get their feedback and to continue to develop the app so that when people start running these events again, we're ready for the perfect solution. Specifically, we're looking at when term restarts in October, where we see Lime can be the ideal solution for events hosted by the department, as well as those hosted by university societies.
So we're choosing to continue to work on the project in our free time, but other than that, I'll be interning as a software engineer at a fintech startup called Fund Apps, and they deal with financial compliance. I'll be working on their dev team, in particular migrating their architecture to a new, more robust one. Also, since March, I've been working for the Royal Brompton Hospital CMR unit as a research engineer or software engineer. I was creating data analysis tools for them, and now I'm exploring the use of machine learning and in particular generative adversarial networks to optimize their scan time in the new MRI technique that they're developing.
So I plan to continue working on Lime, as I've really enjoyed it and we all want to see how far we can take this. I've also going to be doing an internship at Netcraft as a software engineer. And other than that, I just have a few side projects that I want to continue on, things I want to learn more about or interest me, and also possibly spending some time working with a startup I've worked with throughout the year. They're working on using blockchain to create a pharmaceutical supply chain management product.
So in the summer, I am planning to do an undergraduate research placement at Imperial with Professor Paul Kelly and Dr. Gerard Gorman. So I'll be working on the DeVito project. DeVito is a compiler for domain-specific languages, and it can be used as a package in Python for symbolic computation. So this is really useful for, in particular, solving partial differential equations. So my work will be taking a textbook that is full of Python tutorials and converting it into a form that makes use of DeVito. And I'm really looking forward to starting.
So this is a unique summer in a lot of ways. I guess I'm lucky in the sense that my internship this summer didn't fall through. So I'm working at ARM instead of going to Cambridge to work there. I'm working remotely and have been for about 3 weeks. I'm working as part of the fast models teams where we basically are writing lots of C++ and that sort of thing to model upcoming intellectual property. So things like upcoming NPU designs, CPU designs, GMA controller designs, that sort of thing. And aside from that, and continuing to work on Lime, hopefully I can, chill out a bit and enjoy summer before third year starts.
I think generally it went pretty well. It was pretty smooth. The lectures were released a week before, so we had time to watch in our free time, and we didn't have to worry about maybe missing something because it was all recorded. There were some issues, however, with some communication. For example, the drop-in sessions, maybe it was too busy or there wasn't really too much face-to-face interaction, and it's kind of odd to ask questions without being able to show people things. And also remote working as a group was a bit more difficult because we couldn't pair programs, so that was definitely an issue, and not being able to meet in person meant sometimes that getting our ideas across wasn't as easy. Obviously, talking to our stakeholders and finding stakeholders on this online medium was quite difficult. At the beginning, we sort of chose to go with a different project, and that fell through because we couldn't get in contact with our stakeholders. But otherwise, it went pretty smoothly. It was good that we could record all of our Zoom meetings, so we could come back to it for later reference or use clips in our presentation, so that really helped with our project. Other than that, I thought it was pretty smooth and I really enjoyed the whole project and experience.
So it was totally really strange to begin with, especially the move from just finishing exams and then starting the project. It was quite strange without it being in person. And also initially, given the nature of the project and the focus on real people and users, being remote was quite hard in getting contact with people and getting that rich feedback. So we'd actually initially chosen a completely different project, but because of this we switched to Lime so that we could get more extensive feedback. It was quite useful to be able to record meetings and review sessions that we had with the department because we went back to them a lot while working in the week to understand how to improve and make the app better. The department used Piazza really extensively, which was good because they were really responsive and happy to answer any questions we had on there. But at the end of it, can't wait to go back in person as the collaborative aspect of these group projects were quite tricky remotely.
So I would say it was challenging given the circumstances for everyone to adapt to this new learning environment. But I would say as the project has gone on, the experience has definitely improved. So one of the nice things for me was that me and my team video called each other every day to discuss the project, and it would just really help to know that everyone is sort of going through the same thing and to talk things through over video call. Online lectures, I mean, it was good that Panopto already existed before, so in that sense it was a transition, but it wasn't that unfamiliar. And also we had Microsoft Teams channels where we could talk to our tutors and our lecturers, which was really useful. We also had a Piazza board, so there was constant communication with them on there. So I would say given the circumstances, it was alright, it was okay, but I really can't wait to get back to on-campus teaching because there's nothing like it.